Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I am Steve the Unimpressed, and this is Steve Solo's Minecraft episode 27. I am actually incredibly pressed for time this weekend, so I'm recording in kind of a hurry, because I want to actually have something to post for you folks to watch. Unfortunately, that means that I didn't exactly have a lot of time to decide what I was going to be doing in this episode, so I think I'm going to continue to work on our villager houses upstairs. One step I'm going to try and undertake in that is to make a automatic wool farm if I can remember how to do it. Because I had mentioned in the last episode that I want to have at least one of those villager houses with white wool for the walls. That's actually going to require significantly more wool than I have at the moment. At least I think so. I haven't really done an inventory check yet on that, but I'm pretty sure I don't have enough to do an entire house, so I'm going to try and set up at least one sheep to be automatically sheared, which uses a device, or a redstone contraption very similar to this one, which I think I can actually still remember how to set up. Let's hope so. That should make for something relatively quick that I can build, and then we can hopefully get on to working a little more on those houses before the end of the episode. Once again, I have started the episode down in the bee and wheat farm, which is cruising along still quite well. I haven't had as much time as I had last time I recorded to just let this sit, but it has, oopsie, the barrel, not the dispenser. It has produced quite a bit more honeycomb and quite a bit more wheat. Also, that hopper has eaten some seeds. So I'm actually just going to empty all of this out, not that it really urgently needs to be done, and clean up some stuff down here, and then I will go and start working on the wool harvesting contraption thingy. Okay, stand by. I just heard a cat. I don't have any fish. Okay. Things just took a turn for the unfortunate. Alright, I need a way to gather some fish. Remember not to hit them with the sword. Okay, let me see here. I need to follow this cat around until I find some fish that I can punch. Fish? Fish? Okay, there's the cat. Okay, I can get out over the wall here. There's got to be some fish in the swamp somewhere. Ah, perfect. A salmon. Come here, you. Only took 3 punches. Alright, there's some more. Come here. Oh, come back. Ah, crap, I need to breathe. I don't know which one I was punching now. I think it was this one. Apparently not. There, got another. Got another. I want at least 4. Okay, 6 should be enough. Hopefully that cat hasn't despawned. Certainly took me long enough to punch those fish to death. Oh, here's a couple more on the way back. I still see the cat. 7. Die, please. 8. Oh, I still saw the cat. Where did it go? Maybe I only saw the sheep. I hope I didn't go far enough away that it despawned. I bet you I did, though. Okay, I'm not sure how much of that footage I'm actually going to use because it was a bit disjointed, but as soon as I got to this village, I discovered a cat in it. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any raw fish with me. So I immediately went into the swamp to find and punch to death a couple of fish. But unfortunately, in pursuit of fish, I went far enough away that the cat despawned by the time I got back. Foiled again. Going to make another chest, and I'm going to leave it right here, next to my workbench, and leave these 8 fish in that. Next time I come here and there turns out to be a cat in the village, there will be some fish right here, directly accessible, exactly where I need them. Chest. Salmon. Note, raw salmon this time. One of these days, I'll succeed in taming a cat. When? Well, that's a different question entirely. Now, the reason I am back in this town at all in the first place is that when I fenced it in, I fenced in a couple of sheep along with it. So I already have some sheep right here where I need them. I also decided that I don't really want a pen full of sheep over by my bay. I've already got cows and chickens over there, and that's frankly more than enough. I can actually probably do away with the chickens now that I have a skeleton spawner making arrows for me. Since there are already sheep in this town, I figured I would just bring the farm to them instead of dragging them over to the bay. I won't get as much from this contraption over here as I would by the bay because it won't be loaded in as often, but frankly I don't need all that much wool anyway, so I'm just going to set it up here where I already have some sheep. Since I keep having villagers climbing trees in this town and it's on a ridge, I'm going to name it Tree Dweller Ridge. There, Tree Dweller Ridge. That rolls off the tongue. It really doesn't, but what do you want from me? Since this area is is fenced in and pretty well lit up, I can actually keep working at night and don't have to worry too much about being blown up by a creeper that I didn't hear sneaking up on me. It could still happen. You're going to prevent that though, aren't you? I'll take that as a yes. Let's see if I can remember how to build this thing. Now the idea for this farm, and it is not my design, I got this from somebody, I think it was probably from Pixlriffs again. How it works is that you pen up a sheep so that it's standing on a single block of grass. You surround the sheep with glass blocks, which keeps the grass under the glass blocks. Do you mind? Thanks. It keeps the grass under the glass blocks from turning into dirt like they would do with other blocks on top of them. For example, if I put that log there and I wait long enough, when I chop it back out, nope, not yet. Anyway, that will turn to dirt eventually. You want the sheep standing on a single block so that this is the only block that it can eat the grass from, which is what causes it to regrow its wool. It can't access the blocks around it, but the grass in the block that it's standing on can still grow back from the grass that's under the glass. Nobody cares. Go away. Okay, let's see if this went back to dirt. Yep, there we go. That's what I mean. A solid block on top of a grass block will cause it to revert to dirt at some point. It doesn't happen instantaneously, but it will happen. A transparent block, you don't necessarily have to use glass, but that does seem like the most convenient to me, will not cause the grass to revert to dirt. Now you point an observer at the block that the sheep is standing on so that the observer will detect when the sheep eats the grass. And that will trigger a dispenser with shears in it, the same way we used for the honeycomb farm, which will shear the sheep. And then you put a collection mechanism underneath that to collect the wool and deposit it into a chest or a barrel. In this case, I'm going to use a chest because barrels are a villager profession block, and I don't want a bunch of fishermen running around this village. I think I already have one. Anyway, I have as many of those as I want, so I'm not going to put a bunch more barrels down in this town. I'm not going to put it here, though, so I'm going to need to pick these glass blocks up, decide where I am going to put it, and see if I can remember how to build this thing without having to reference something else. I'm going to build these into the side of the hill a little bit to make it easier to get the sheep into them. That might make setup a little more difficult, though. I have to remember exactly how to do this. I believe that the dispenser goes on top of the observer. So we want the sheep to stand here, which means I need glass around this and on top of this. Alright, I need to get the sheep to fall in there, preferably without having any villagers fall in there. But villagers don't follow you if you have wheat in your hand, and sheep do, so that shouldn't be too hard. Now the observer is pointed at this block, so right under this block I'm going to want a hopper minecart, which means that I need rail, I think, which I did not get. Well, I can make some rail. It seems kind of wasteful since I have a whole bunch of rails sitting at home, but I'm also going to need a minecart, which I apparently have forgotten how to make. There we go. And I'm going to need a second hopper also, which means I'm going to need a second chest. There. Now I have the stuff that I need. Although, let's make the hopper minecart right here as long as we're here. There. There is a child villager running around. At one point I was having trouble getting these villagers to breed. I never did anything to figure out what was wrong with that. Maybe it was a bug that got patched, because now that mechanic is working. Let's just take the win on that one. Alright, under the observer I'm going to want a chest a couple blocks down. Behind that I'm going to want that hopper going into the chest. Put a rail on top of the hopper, and then the hopper minecart on top of the rail. And that should collect the wool as it is sheared. Then I'm going to fill this back in. How much back in? Not that much. I think that much. No, that's not going to work either, because I still have to get to that chest, and I need a block behind this to run the redstone to the dispenser. I think I'm just going to put a dirt... I don't remember if dirt can be powered. Well, we'll find out. In fact, I know a way we can find out right now. Yes, dirt can be powered. Otherwise, that would not have fired. And all of that should have wound up in this chest that I can just barely see. Grass block and a glass block. So yes, this will work just fine. I still remember how to make this. Kind of proud of myself now. Now I just need to get a sheep into it. Which means I'm going to need some blocks here. And a sheep. Also a piece of wheat. There's a sheep. Come this way. A little more this way. Not that much more this way. Nuts. Come back this way. A little more this way. Into the hole. Into the hole. Come on. Just fall in. Please fall in. There we go. He took a little persuading, but he's in there now. What else do I... Oh, I need to put shears in there for starters. Which means I need to make some shears. And just to get this process rolling, I think I am going to shear this sheep manually. There. That wool should have been collected by the chest. 3 wool in the chest. So all of this is working the way it should be. This sheep is basically always going to be woolless like this. As soon as he eats that grass underneath him, the observer will trigger the dispenser, which will shear him immediately. The grass eating is on a random timer. I think it's about once every 5 minutes. So let's just sit here and watch, and sometime within the next 5 minutes, we will get some evidence that this is going to work. There we go. He ate. He grew wool. He was sheared. And looks like the system collected the wool also. Yep, now we have 4 instead of 3. When you shear a sheep, you get between 1 and 3 blocks of wool. So sometimes there's a lot, and sometimes there's only a little. And that time there was only a little. But that's okay. I didn't have to stand here and... That little click was actually the grass regrowing, so the observer detects that also. But as we mentioned in the episode where I set up the bee farm, this only has 2 points of durability off it. If the observer triggers the dispenser and it uses the shears without anything in front of it that can actually shear, it doesn't use up any durability on the shears. Now we're going to have some wool just generating for us in the background. And that was definitely less than 5 minutes between those two. So maybe it's just a random timer. I suppose I could look that up on the wiki, but I honestly am not that concerned with exactly how often it happens. So if you are, check it out and let me know in the comments how long I can expect to be waiting between those. I am going to put a block on top of this somewhere. I think I'm going to make it a glass block, because why not at this point? The whole rest of the structure is glass. There. That way nothing else is going to fall in there by accident. Like that creeper. That would be bad. Cat! You spawned in a fence post. Actually, that might work to my advantage. Because that cat might not be able to move. Where's the fish? Stay right there, cat. Don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back. Please don't despawn. Please don't despawn. Please don't despawn. It is not despawned. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work. Generally, you want them to enter beg mode, and it can't really do that in the water. Let's see if I can get it in here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put that grass block back. There. Now let's see if we can get it to come over to us. Don't remember exactly how this works. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to look directly at the cat. You're also not really supposed to follow it around. You want to be kind of close to it, but not looking at it. There we go. That's the sound we're looking for. Now you need to come over here and make that sound, because if I move, you're going to run. I know your ways. Come to where I can reach you, and I promise I will give you the fish. There. And off it goes. Okay, that didn't work out quite like I hoped. Still, it's here. I will keep chasing it around until this works. Here. Ha! Finally! I tamed a cat. Is this a Himalayan? I will have to look up what the patterns of these are supposed to represent. This kind of looks like a Himalayan. And I actually have a Himalayan, and it's actually sitting right next to me. if you hear a cat meowing in my videos, that's the cat that it usually is. Her name is Claire. Yep, actually, she's sitting on a chair right next to me right now, and I'm looking back and forth between the cat on the screen and the cat on the chair. And the color pattern is the same, so I'm pretty sure that's what this is supposed to represent. So I know what I'm going to name that cat as soon as I find a name tag. In fact, since the sun is rising, I may just make that how I end this episode. Since I'm on my way back to the house anyway, I'm going to take the 12 wool that have accumulated in this chest along with me. It started off with 3. The first 3 were from me shearing manually, and there were at least it triggered at least twice after that, where it only sheared 1 block of wool, or only created 1 block of wool from shearing, which would have been 5. So it's triggered at least 2 more times since then. So, yeah, 4, I think it's triggered at least 4 times in, what, 15 minutes at most? So, yeah, if you need a lot of wool, just set up a lot of these. Alright, I gotta get that cat off that bed and get back over to the bay. Come on, you. Alright, well, they'll teleport to you if you go far enough, so I'm just gonna leave that door open and run off. Well, by dint of a lead and a lot of coaxing, I got this cat back up into the top level of my house, which is where I am going to keep it, because cats are notoriously difficult to keep alive in Minecraft if you let them follow you around. So I'm going to come over here to this anvil, put the name Claire on this name tag. There. Perfect. I have a cat named Claire. It's a Himalayan. Matches exactly, well, maybe not exactly, but as close as you can get to my actual cat. Well, one of the actual cats. Now, I need a trapdoor to close this off so I don't wind up with Claire here back down in the lower level. Getting her up the ladder was no picnic. So let's get out one of these birch trapdoors that I've had lying around, probably since I built this house. And put it right there. Excellent. Alright. That's where I'm going to leave this episode. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content from me. And if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.